Welcome back to Yordas and thanks for joining me. Let's continue learning how to mark. Okay, so I just wanted to continue from where we left off in the last video. We'll talk about the core four and we're breaking them down into patterns. Now what that means, we've covered the 20s and the 19s. We're going to cover 18s and 17s today, hopefully. And we're going to be covering scores from 118 in this case all the way to 918s, and we're going to turn those scores into patterns or shapes. So when you see a shape, you'll associate it with that number and you'll be able to quickly add up the scores. Okay, let's jump into it straight away and I'm going to show you how to practice it. So of course 118 is 18, we don't need any help there, we know it. 2 18s are 36, again we don't need any help there because we know double 18 is 36, but I want you to see it as 2 in the singles. Wherever it would be in the single, that's all you need to do, but that's easy, you don't really need any help there, right? Dead easy. Now 3 18s are 54, just the same as treble 18. Okay, 1 in the treble 18 is 54, but of course I want you to also recognize that 3 in the single obviously is 54, but sometimes you see that and you can panic. Well, it's just the same thing, so see this as 3 dots in the single because we already know that 1 dot or 1 dart rather in the treble 18 is 54. Okay, 4 18s are 72, and if you ever get stuck with that, we know double 18 is 36, you just have to double your double, so double your 36 and that's 72. That's if you get stuck when you're learning this and you just want to double check your arithmetic and make sure you're right. So 4 18s are 72, but the pattern I want you to see is 1 in the treble, which is going to be 3, okay, and 1 in the single. This is a very common pattern that you're going to see on scoring, okay, of many levels. Okay, see this, and that's 72. Okay, let's just scribble that out. So 5 18s are 90, and it's the same as a score. We finished that. I finished that. We have treble 18, double 18. That's 90 as well. So if you want to check your maths, you can do that if you're stuck at what 5 18s are. But the pattern I want you to see is 1 in the treble and 2 in the single. See that picture, see that pattern? Okay, of course it could be down here as well. It might not just be 2 next to each other, so you just be aware of that. But 1 in the treble, 2 in the single, that's 5, that's going to be 90. Associate it with 90. Okay, take it nice and slow when you're learning these and it will go in. Okay, 6 18s, scribble that out. 6 18s are 2 treble 18s. Okay, 2 in there, 6 18s, and because that's double 54, that's 108. Okay, I'm deliberately not writing these numbers down because I want you to go away and practice them. Write them down on a piece of paper anywhere, and when you're writing them down, that helps cement it in your brain, or at least plant the seed to do that. Okay, so that's 6 18s are 108. Okay, 7 18s are 126. And see that as 2 in the treble, so that's going to be 6, and then 1 more to make it 7, that's 126. Okay, don't worry right now if it's hard to work out those numbers, just keep practicing them, listen to the sound of the voice, and you might get bored of your own voice, but it will go in. When I first started doing this, I struggled on 7. I thought, oh, I'm going to remember that, and for some reason eventually I just remembered it. Oh, 126, and now I just absolutely know it. And when I see 3 darts and 2 treble 18s and 1 single 18s, I know it's 126, and I don't have to use any brain power over it. I don't have to do any maths, any adding up. I just know it. Okay, we are associating these patterns with the finishes, not the finishes, the scores, I should say. So that's 7. Now 8 is going to happen a lot less, and 8, when you see the scoring, but it's worth knowing it, is 2 in the treble 20, which would be 6, and then 2 in the double. You see this more of a finish than a score, but it's well worth knowing it, so why not? And that's 144. Okay, and then 9, just scribble that out. 9 is another one in the treble 18, and that's 162. So do this nice and slowly, and when you're practicing them, you just like choose any kind of number. You can either start on these numbers and go from 118 all the way to 918s, which I recommend you do, but also just randomly go, what's 4 18s? Okay, 4 18s 72. What's 4 19s 76? Okay, what's 4 20s? 80. Okay, and we'll get to the 17s in a bit when we go through it, but that's pretty much the 18 segment. Okay, take them nice and slowly, picture the shapes. It might sound silly, but when you get good at this and you count in a very short period of time, it'll be a lot easier when you see someone throwing at a dartboard and you see these patterns rather than trying to add up. You know, if you suddenly see this one in the treble, one in the single, and that's obviously 4 18s. Oh, that's 72. Boom, 72 straight away. And if they've scored this, you know, that's 92. You know, you're not having to think too hard. Anyway, let's get to the 17s. So we are now on to the last number of the core 4. We're on to the 17s. We've covered the 20 segment, the 18 segment, and the 19 segment. Okay, and these are very common areas that people at least try to score in. They might miss, especially if they've not got that much experience, but we'll get into that another time. Okay, so let's go through this. 117 obviously is 17. We don't need any help there. 2 17s, see this as two darts in that single segment, anywhere in that single segment, and we know that double 17s 34, and that's exactly what this score is. 3 is the same as, so 3 is going to be 51. It's the same as just the 1 in the treble. Okay, that would be 51. Okay, 4, and these scores are going to come up a lot less in the 17s. People really aim for 20s, 19s and 18s, but now and again you will see the 17s come up. But 4 in the 17s is 68, and again, write these numbers down yourself and do it nice and slowly, but that's the shape or the pattern for 68. 1 in the treble, or for 4 17s, which is 68. 1 in the treble, 1 in the single. Okay, 5 is 1 in the treble, 2 in the single, and that's 85. 5 17s are 85. 6 17s, that's going to be 2 in the treble number. So when you see that, it's quite easy. We know 1. So my expectation of people learning this is at least know your treble values, certainly of these big numbers, and certainly right now of the core 4. Okay, know your double values, because it just does help with just like checking your totals and checking your arithmetic and everything like that. So 6 17s are 102. 7 17s, so it would be 2 in the treble and 1 here. That is 119. Okay. So 7 17s, 119. See that as 2 in the treble and 1 anywhere on that single number. Okay, 8 17s, you see this a lot less. To be fair, you'll see 8 a lot less in any of these scores, because it includes, so 8 would be 2 treble 17s and 1 in the double 17. So you're going to see that a lot less. But 8 is 136. And 9 17s, of course, it's going to be another 1 in the treble, so 3 trebles, and that's 153. So the way to practice this is literally anytime you got free time, you know, washing your hair, something like that, just go, right, I'm going to cover the 18s, I'm going to cover the 19s, or get round the core 4 if I can, and you can just start at the number 1. 1 18s 18, 2 18s 36, 3 18s 54, 4 18s 72, okay, 5 18s 90, and just listen to your own voice. Wait until you can understand it, and then making sure for each of these numbers you're seeing the picture. You know that 4 18s are 72, and you know that this is the picture for that. Okay, 1 in the single, 1 in the treble, that's 4 18s. Okay, it's 72. So if you have that and someone's scored this with the 3 darts, you know that's 92. Okay, because you know this part here is 72, because you're so familiar with that kind of shape, a single and a treble, and it's 72 for the 18s. And just go around and just go, okay, what's 9 20s? Oh, that's 180 rather. And of course, you don't really need any help in this segment, like I mentioned before. All these scores in the 20s, unless you're actually brand new, and then you do need to go through the same process I've taught you, just take it slowly. But generally, unless you're brand new to the game, you don't need any help with the shapes you see on the 20s. So it's the same, has got to be, the same standard has got to be for the 18s, the 17s, and the 16s, and the 19s for now, just for now. Okay, look, we can't do everything straight away. Okay, so we literally just know that 9 19s are 171. Okay, and 9 17s are 153. Nearly forgot then. Okay, again, you're going to see the scores on the 17 section a lot less, but you do need to know them. Anyway, I hope my idea of teaching you how to chalk is kind of not make. I hope it's making sense. I hope it's kind of, oh, that's interesting, but my mind's crazy. So I hope it helps. Let me know. Okay, so thanks again for watching. I'm going to be covering more numbers below 119 because I still love teaching how to check out. Such a powerful thing to know, so you're not relying on apps and computers and all that sort of stuff. It's such a power, but also another power is marking. I'm going to continue. We're going to talk about the common scores that we see and start to turn them into patterns. And we're going to start slow, or we're going to start light, and then we're going to be adding on to these and creating a nice mental Rolodex of how to mark, okay, along with how to check out. Thanks again for watching. Take care for now.